Mastermind because I'm live here at the Mastermind. It's lunchtime, and I'm gonna guess what? Fast. Why? Because I ate too much in Egypt. But I should fast anyways, and so I'm on day one and a half of my fast. So what was amazing about this is the morning introduction. What was done by Zahi Fayyad, who is a doctor. He is a professor of radiology and medicine. He's a technologist, but also he's leading Mount Sinai's health span research initiative, which is amazing. And he came to introduce our group to talk about them. And if anyone knows Zahi, he's just an amazing soul. And so what he talked about was to kind of set expectations here, right? You can think about all of the science fiction things that are going to happen with AI, but you need to approach AI as a tool. And today, he said, we are not talking about theory. We are translating to today. And he said, we're going to be practical about how we cover this. And I think it's very true. And then the most important point that Zahi said is the following. If you're skeptical about AI, good. You should be. Stay in the room. Let's talk about it and let's debate. Because I think artificial intelligence in medicine is not going anywhere. And is it going to come for most of our jobs? Well, I guess cognitively, it can support us or it can kill us. And number two, and this is important for cognitive erosion, but number two, which I think is so important, if you're employed, you may not lose your job to AI, but you definitely will lose your job to a doctor who can use AI better than you. And so that's what Zahi had to come over and say. And then, as you know, Dr. Lou came in. And so Dr. Lou is very inspirational when he talks. This group is an amazing group. But his first session, first thing he said was, hey, we're a longevity docs group. And so if you want to do a cold plunge, just go outside on Park Avenue and you'll have a cold plunge. And he's right. It's freaking freezing cold here in New York City. Especially I came from Cairo. Guys, all you doctors, all you followers, all you subscribers, I can't begin to thank you enough for sticking with me. That 2026 is going to be the coolest, amazing year for longevity and artificial intelligence. And so we're working through it. And so Dr. Lou said, a life well lived is doing what you love. And I want to thank you guys for letting me do what I love. And so what started as a WhatsApp group now has real infrastructure. Yesterday, I recorded a lecture on the FDA and informed consent for the Certified Longevity Docs program, of which I am now faculty. And I think it's really good. But one was really amazing is that Dr. Lou announced something called HIPPO AI in his pronunciation, right? So HIPPO stands for Hippocrates. It is an AI assistant for longevity medicine where longevity data, databases, and all sorts of educational material will be dumped into like a notebook LLM. So you'll be able to use it and query it for data on the fly, which I think is very awesome. And it's what we would call for physicians, by physicians. And I think it's going to be very important. The next talk, what was, dude, it was terrifying. So first off, if you don't know anything about the Mount Sinai NYU merger that only lasted about a year and a half, and then they broke apart like a disgruntled divorced couple that had 5 kids and 2 dogs and had to split them all up and ended up like killing the dogs because they didn't know who to go to. There was acrimony. But what's amazing about it is the following, right? Yin Afina who is the MD PhD director of applied AI at NYU Langone, was there. And his talk was the first talk. And holy crap. Holy crap. They are the safest hospital for the last 4 years running. You want to know how? Artificial intelligence. They deploy AI for the whole organization at once. They have an entire team with 128 AI models in the clinic right now. AI running in their hospital system, all the hospitals, all the clinics, leading to excellent safety outcomes. And in fact, if you go to NYU, you're less likely to die in that hospital than any other hospital. And I think that's unbelievable. I also think it's a slippery slope. if you lead AI as safety, but then ultimately use it to guide physicians and track their metrics and make them work harder, whatever work harder means, and you don't give them some upside to benefit in that, you kind of take an advantage of them. But what's really cool, I think, is that in order to engage other doctors at NYU, they had these things called promptathons, which is where they've run about 15 of them, where they invite doctors, nurses, clinicians, whoever, come sit with the AI models, play around with them, and solve your problems. So using a promptathon has massively improved the engagement of their team using AI. In addition to that, they have like their own Hippo AI at NYU called ultraviolet AI, which I think is ridiculous because when I think of UV, now all of a sudden I'm thinking of like backlit blue light LED on a screen all day long rather in front of a patient. But they called it UVAI, ultraviolet AI, which theoretically, I guess you kill bacteria and all sorts of stuff with UV. So it's not so bad. And midday sun is definitely very good for you. So I don't think it's all just blue light backlit. They have 4,000 new chats using ultraviolet AI daily at their organization. It's a HIPAA chat bot. And the problem with it is hallucinations. And so we all know this about AI. Don't trust anything it gives you, double check it, verify it, and edit it. And so, because of that, what they found is that AI is not making their physicians more efficient. It just makes their physicians feel better. And I don't know. But what I do know this is that it's a great model for safety. They have a sepsis model, which reduces mortality. It's unbelievable. They have an ordering generation model, which is unbelievable based on the discussion. So if you have ambient AI recording, you're like, I think we need to have a complete metabolic panel. Boom. In the EMR, they give you a box to click to generate the computer physician order entry. That's brilliant. In addition, they have a third model, which does patient messaging triage. I think you have to be careful about it, but that's part of it. The next thing they have is, I'm sorry, I'm reading down from my notes. The next thing they have is AI discharge summaries from the hospital. And what they found is when physicians edited those summaries, they made it more confusing for the patient. So theoretically, you're better off just dumping it and letting the patient read what AI slop is out there. That being said, who's on the hook for this medical legally? And the answer is the physician every time. And so AI plus a physician for these sort of discharge summaries is worse than AI alone. But the physician can get sued. So I think that's kind of high risk. And so we have to be careful with it. The next, oh man, the next talk was by David Furman. Dr. Furman is a PhD at the Buck who studies aging clocks. And he basically talked about different aging clocks. So it's funny because I talked about aging clocks next. What he said was the following. If you want to get a good aging clock, make sure you trust organ specific clocks over general aging clocks. Don't trust the age of the aging clock. Consider and appreciate the pace of aging. However, he showed some really important data. Just because you're aging fast now doesn't mean you're going to age fast later. And so tracking the rate of aging is probably important to do. I think so too. And we track aging rate by Dunedin. We will use organ-based clocks, but there's, Frank, like Grim Age and these other ages, use regular biomarkers, which can be pretty useful too. Next, which is super crazy, he engaged in space travel aging, which if you follow me, you know, aging accelerants like COVID have nothing on space travel. Space travel aging is significant. Space travel will age you by a decade without breaking a sweat from being up there just a little bit of time. Why? I think we have microtubule dissociation, we have mitochondrial dysfunction. And so what he reported on is he's actually got a machine that simulates zero gravity. And they put organoids in this aging machine, which I called the aging accelerator, right? I said, Doofenshmirtz, right? I said, I have the aging accelerator. And so everyone laughed at that. But it's an amazing tool to be able to accelerate aging and track it. Take these organoids that he's researching, accelerate them, and see what happens. And so his rules with choosing an aging clock are as follows. Make sure it has accuracy to predict disease, which I don't think much aging clocks do. Number two, precision in retesting. So if something says something once, does it say it again with the same sample? Dr. Kaberlein said, nope, I don't trust them clinically. I don't think they're worthwhile. And so that takes that out of it, I think. Next, he said, organ specific clocks perform better, and you have to understand the methodology of the clock. And so I think that's important too. I think you really need to understand what you're getting into. The next up was me. I talked about multiomics and all the different genomics, transcriptomics, which, by the way, I'm going to tell you right now, RNA transcriptomics is not ready for prime time. Genomics is, but you have to follow it right away, very carefully. And metabolomics is very interesting. I'll talk about mine separate because I don't want to make this about me. Next up was actually Giovanni Campanile talking about what is called cardio longevity and the cardiac profile by Vibrant Labs, which I use. I think it's a very good lab. It analyzes ceramides, it analyzes inflammation, it analyzes vascular health. Then we had coffee. So we had a coffee break quickly. I'd record some lecture. Hey, hello, Dr. Johnson. I really hope that you appreciated and learned a little bit from my talk. How many of you guys are live watching the live stream right now? A couple of you, right? Not all of you, but a couple of you. I think the next session, the afternoon session, is going to be amazing. There's a lot of debate that's going on. I think it's going to be very interesting. Next up, we had Dr. Schweg, who talked about using all of these different LLMs, using all of these different models. And he gave some examples using a lot of different ones. And my takeaways from him was actually Heidi. Heidi actually is a functional medicine ambient scribe that you can ask in real time what you were recording. So I'm going to have to check out Heidi. Has anyone else used ambient scribes? What do they think? I know Omar's on here working on some awesome stuff. I wonder. The problem with ambient scribes I've found is they make stuff wrong, just like a regular scribe would, resulting in bad outcomes. And it makes me take longer to write my notes. So I try to avoid that. Okay. Next up after that was Dr. Houghton. And Dr. Houghton, John, is a friend of mine. He's great. He's a MD engineer with his master's in engineering, talked about scaling longevity practice, not practices, but being able to take care of more patients because you're able to use AI. And I think using AI safely with HIPAA and getting our hands around it is going to revolutionize not just longevity medicine, but healthcare as a whole. Either we adopt it and use it, or we lose it. What do I mean by lose it? We lose the ability to care for our patients. So I think we need to use it smartly, effectively. In the afternoon sessions, we're going to cover different tools that are available, and we're going to have a big debate, tech versus doctors. You know I like a good debate. All right, guys, I've been rambling a long time. I'm going to go grab some coffee here and water for my fast. I hope you guys have a great one. Dr. Desai, I saw you on here. Dr. Spacini. This is such a great group. I love you guys. You're awesome. I'll see you in the afternoon sessions. I'll talk to you soon. Here's to a life well lived.